Hi, it's Sophie from the Isabel Craft Collection, and here is another Techniques Tuesday. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to kind of show you two techniques. One is watercolouring with dye-based inks, and two is drawing the eye in by creating a sort of like shaded edge, which a lot of you will know, but I just think it's important for you to kind of go over these techniques. Okay, so today, rather than a distress ink, I'm going to use dye-based inks, because I know a lot of you have got Adirondack dye-based inks. So it's still Ranger, but this one is denim. Okay, it's kind of slightly happier, less vintage colours. And I'm also going to use Sheena Douglas's Oh Duck, because for so many reasons I like this stamp. It makes me laugh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of splat the ink pad on just to make sure I've covered it, because it's quite a detailed stamp. So I'm going to just kind of rub it first of all to make sure all the tiny little writing in the back is showing, and then if I just dab it, then that will kind of make it slightly more even. Okay, this is an ace stamp. It's very detailed and kind of beautiful, but funny as well. It's got all the little writing. It's got little words in it like duck for government, Bombay duck, duck soup, better duck, best of duck. Yeah, so it's quite funny. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, to make this better than what I did earlier, I'm going to actually put the paper, which I've make sure you make it slightly bigger than the stamp. I'm going to put the paper down onto, I'll do it the other side now, onto the stamp. Okay, trying not to shake too much, and then rub it. I think that will actually hopefully create a better design, clearer design than what I did earlier when I was sort of trying to squidge it down. So we'll see, it's an experiment, and we can all join in the excitement as to whether it works or not. Okay, so if I lift it up, yeah, that's not too bad at all. It's a little bit faded, but it will do. Okay, so put the lid back on there. Right, so first of all, I'm going to use a paintbrush, a normal paintbrush, put it in the water, and then dab a bit of the water off. And then all I'm going to do is kind of colour in where the duck is, okay, just to kind of give it like a watercolour effect basically. Okay, so the shading's kind of given for you by Sheena Douglas, which she kind of makes sure she does, and then when there's less shading, then use slightly less water. But basically just adding water to the dye-based ink, and the dye will actually sort of spread basically as you're adding the water. So I'm just going to add a bit of water to where the duck is. Okay, so that's the duck coloured in. So it's already starting to look better, and for some reason the blue becomes sort of bluer. I'm also going to do the water below, so it's basically just putting a bit of water on the brush, dabbing it on my kitchen roll, and then just moving the colours about. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this one off, okay, like so, and then if I do the reeds as well, so do the reeds. So although the stamping wasn't the best I've done, I have to admit, by doing this it kind of makes up for it. Might even go over the words actually. Okay, just to bring them out, like so. And then before I actually did a wash on the words, but actually didn't look too good, so I'm going to leave the words alone and just do a wash where the water is in the background. And in some ways I suggest you make this quite watery, so that there's a contrast between the water sort of above him and the water below him, so you can sort of see what's going on more. Okay, so just do a wash, make sure it's all filled. It doesn't have to be perfect at all, but as you can see, by doing this, the dye is sort of moving. So don't think that distress inks are the only products to add water to. It's okay to use dye-based inks as well. I'm not doing this perfectly, but I still think it has quite a cool look to it. I might do the O as well. Okay, so like that. Okay, and what I did in my other one was I added a little bit of extra dye, okay, from the ink pad if you want to emphasise any areas. So I've then used the, I dabbed a bit of the ink onto like one of these special blending mats, which are quite cool, and then just added some extra detail that way. Just if you want to darken up any areas, then this is a way of doing it. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, so that is essentially a finished and completed watercoloured image, which I think looks quite good. Just going to wipe this off because it's got water in it. I'm then going to cut it down. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down. Okay, so that's cut down, and then to create like an edge, put some ink on the blending mat, put an ink blending tool which has like a sponge on the end. Tim Holtz does it, or this is a cheaper Crafts 2 version, and start blending in circles and then add it to the outside of the stamp. And what this does is draw the eye into the image in the middle. So this is another really cool technique, but always make sure you put the blending mat onto the, always put the blending tool rather onto the blending mat before, in circular movements, before you add it to the card. Okay, like so. And then what I've done here, just to put the card together, if I just might wipe this mat down a little bit, is I created Happy Birthday all the way round. I embossed 2 strips and then had a sort of like a smooth strip in the middle. Okay, I then cut a bit of gold card out to coordinate with the blue. I think blue and gold looks really cool. And then put that onto the gold card, like so. And then, for the purpose of being a bit speedier, put glue on the back and place this in the middle. Okay, there you go, and that is the finished card using ink blending around the edge and watercolouring with a dye-based ink pad. Okay, so that's it. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed that, and there'll be another one next Tuesday. Bye!